All right, what's going on, guys? Right now I'm gonna go out. I'm gonna go out on a little bit of a crazy thing here because I'm gonna look at shib a little bit more. If you guys have been following me for a while, then you probably are subscribed to me on TradingView. But this is definitely something that's going to help you out if you're new to trading or looking for some ideas and stuff like that. And I'm constantly posting over here on TradingView, so I think if you just looked up Eric Taylor, you'd be able to find me hopefully on there pretty easily. But I've been charting many things on this, and all the way down to shib. And wow, I'm getting a lot of lag right now because this thing is freezing up. Didn't like that. There we go. Well, either way, on shib, I've been posting about shib a lot. I've been talking about different moves, and this was back in when shib was around 22.14 and 21.70, and we were looking for a move up to 28.60, and we ended up looking for another move after that, so on and so forth. Same with like EGLD, which I've been charting since $116. I don't get many likes on it or anything, but we've been absolutely crushing it. And EGLD just had a huge pop, which we were just talking about in this last previous post of EGLD that you saw. And you can see here, I mean, it's hard to see. I can even click on it. Just, you can go look at it yourself. But we did just have a monstrous move on EGLD. I was just posting about, probably 4 or 5 hours ago, maybe earlier this morning, about EGLD having this massive breakout, and it was a beautiful pattern forming. I don't know why everything's being so slow right now. It's really getting annoying, probably because I have so many damn tabs open. But we were charting this pattern here, we were charting this pattern here, we were charting this pattern here, and I was way down in this range here when I was posting about shib at the 116. And I've been riding this all the way up, and I finally took profits right here. 191, it hit 200, and I'm looking for up to 220. But we'll see. This thing just had a massive move. We'll see what happens. But anyway, I'm wasting time here. Let's get into shib. This is what you guys really came for. But the whole point of it is that, all of this chart action, price action that I've been going through at shib, I've been charting for, a couple weeks now. And, even though I was potentially looking for some downside target, as a lot of people were, I mean, we were watching Bitcoin and, it ended up having a great breakout, which was great, of a falling wedge that, I ended up posting a long position on BTC down at the breakout of the falling wedge, and at the same time as BTC was breaking out of this falling wedge, shib was breaking out of this falling wedge, which is the time when you just saw me posting that video about 21.70 and so on and so forth. Then we were looking for continuation here, which we got, continuation here, which we got, and then I ended up posting I was taking some profits up in this 3,500 range, and I was just looking back at some past history and how this could turn into some previous resistance area here, which you can see this wick here ended up having confluence and a few other points of examples. But the next big area of confluence here on my chart is roughly this 39.40 level, and that's basically this little double top here. But shib is a tough one because it doesn't create too much consolidation, but at the same time, because of that factor, we end up getting large moves. So really on shib, there's only a few areas of support and resistance here that is pretty easy to map out, but it also makes for a higher risk trade here. But but because of that, we can end up making a lot of profits. You just have to be cautious when we get into it. So looking at shib, we do have a potential symmetrical triangle here, and this, I'm not sure how it's going to play out, so we have to take it with a grain of salt, and we have to be cautious here. But what we can see is that we've been respecting this uptrending line of support right about here where we're at roughly right now. I mean, that's probably the cleanest way to draw it. And if we go off of all the wicks, we can draw it up to here. If we go off the bodies, we can do it a little differently. I'm going to go off of the wicks for this video. So what we see here is that every time it comes down and tests this support, we get a pretty good push off of it each time. But now we're getting pretty squeezed, and we've made a lower high here, and we have already initiated a sell signal on the 4-hour MACD, and we've also had a nice notch over on this RSI here. And we have not been able to close a 4-hour candle above 3,300, and that's roughly where we're getting rejected at right now. If we zoom to the smaller time frames, we'll be able to see. But we do need to be able to hold support here at this 3,200. And if we do lose it, I do have some levels here. We haven't closed below 3,100 here since this move. At least, 2 4-hour candles below. So that's going to be something to watch. If we were to get this breakdown and then we end up, wicking down here and chopping around, we could end up still making some kind of double bottom in this general range here. But that'll be something to keep your, ideas open about if this does end up losing this pattern and breaking down. Now, but that would just be a way to potentially confirm or show if this thing is really going to break down or not, because this target, if we did break down, I want to go over that because this isn't all about just bulls, because this is obviously SHIB, but the target to the downside is down at 2,500, and we do have support here at this exact level right here. We can see when we got this 4-hour close above, that really initiated this liftoff here. But this is roughly the targeted area down at this range of 25.38. But if we were to look at a bullish move to the upside, just to put the bullish sentiment back in this thing, our targeted move from the breakout is roughly around this 4,100 area here, give or take. I have it at 4,000, but it's 4,150 is the targeted move to the upside, and that's if we can break above this 33.77. But if we wanted to look for like a quicker entry, we could actually put this candle, I'm sorry, we can put this trend line, sorry, it's getting late for me. We can put this trend line across these two bodies here, and we can say that as of right now, if we were to pop above 33.30-ish area, 33.50 give or take, and close above here, this would be most likely confirming a breakout. I do have this trend line, this yellow line here at 32.94. And that's really where we're getting rejected right now. You can see this potential reversal candle. Actually, this is like a hammer reversal candle. So we do have to be careful with that, because if this does close as a reversal, this could reverse the trend, and this might be reversing it to the downside. But I'm going to look at some other indicators and look at some other things that could confirm or deny this here. And this is obviously our first, really we've been getting a lot of buying, but it's been declining here in this pattern. So we are getting pretty tight in here to see a break one way or the other. And then lastly, on another bearish thing that I just noticed now, is that this RSI could be potentially looking to make some kind of head and shoulders pattern. So we have a few different bearish scenarios here going on, but I am a bull on SHIB, I will say, and I do like to make the plays, but we have multiple things going on here that could end up flipping this thing bearish, so we want to keep that in mind here. This could also turn into an M right here. So, I've already found 5 bearish things since I've been looking at this on a 4-hour time frame here. And if we flip to the daily, just to take another look, obviously if I was to clear all of this stuff here, I'm just going to remove everything. One thing that we can say on the daily is that this 32.18 has been holding pretty well, and this previous support, this previous resistance was the pretty much 3,100 area, that if we failed to, every time we failed to hold this thing as support, we saw a big drop. So as of right now, we're getting a very nice daily candle closing above. So, is it possible that the next candle, which would end up being tomorrow's candle, comes back to potentially confirm this as support or dip below, maybe create an inverse head and shoulders? This is strictly speculation. But, that's a possibility, but I wouldn't personally be banking on that. But you could, if you were looking for more downside, if we did break this, we could look for something way down here in the 25.34, which is that exact target, which might work out, but I'm not really looking at that bearish right now. I am going to get into the bullish stuff in a second, but this is just something I want you guys to keep in mind. If you're looking for a position or if you're in a position, these are some downside levels to watch. So let's get in, since we've spent the last 10 minutes looking at that, let's get down into the potential bullish scenario here. So, like I said, I'm talking about this uptrending support that we have not been breaking here, and it's very, very clear. Just take a, pretty much a trend line from this area, and even just looking at those wicks of what's the price action is going on right now, we can see how perfectly they're bouncing right on this support right now. But we could end up seeing this break to the downside. We will have to see how this plays out. We might get a downside move while I'm making this video here, and then this will just be, confirming what's going down. But we're going to put our trend line back on. We can see we're really trying to hold this line. But what I was looking at was an hour on the hourly. So on the hourly here, we have started to roll up here on the RSI, but this can easily just roll a notch back down. And something that we need to look at is this MACD here, which also kind of looks like a head and shoulders pattern. But if we can start to flip up and get a nice buy signal, that could be exactly what we need, but we need to watch that and be careful, because we do see this RSI could be getting ready to actually go the other way, where it was starting to look earlier like it was going to flip bullish. So if we look at this 30-minute, obviously we can see wicks going below. I'm not too concerned on those because we can see all these other wicks that we've had, and this line might not be exactly perfect. But let's just try to see even if I just go off of these wicks and this wick here, we can see that we could potentially come down here and test this 31.95 roughly, as we are getting this notch, and that would probably be your lower support line right here. This would make more sense, and I'm doing this on the fly right now, guys, because I'm watching this price action as well. Excuse me. These are down at the 3 minutes. We can see we just had a very, well, it even has a nice gap in it. We just had a little drop there. I don't know if Bitcoin's doing something right now as well, but, really we have to keep an eye on this pattern. And this support right now, like I said, is roughly 3,200, 31.95. And if we do continue to fall here and we get a bounce off of this level, this could initiate the pump, and if we do end up losing 3,200, then we probably know that it's going to be breaking to the downside here, and then we're going to have to watch this 30.89 and see if it's going to continue down or not. But this move is about to come, so it's looking like we might get it here, and I'm probably going to run out of time on this video, so let me try to get into some indicators so I'm not just rambling here. So something I'm going to throw, that's too many indicators, that makes it really confusing. I'm going to at least go with the Ichimoku cloud here on the 1 hour time frame. So what we can see is that we obviously have this green cloud here, and this is going to hold us as support, and it should hold us as support even if we dip down into it, right? So this is the whole point of it, is usually it will hold support on it, but you can occasionally get inside it and start trending inside, and it ends up acting almost as like a nice net for the price action to hold and consolidate inside. And as long as you remain inside, you should remain bullish. Now, if we were to come down lower here on the RSI, we could start making some kind of bullish divergence, as long as this price does not lose this 29.38 area here. We could actually initiate some bullish divergence, which might give that momentum that we need. Say price ends up about right here, and we end up getting a bounce. This could end up confirming some type of bullish divergence. But something to keep in mind right now, as price is getting close here to a move, but we are starting to look like we're emming out a little bit, and this could almost be like a sideways head and shoulders pattern. So actually I'm not feeling too bullish on it as of right now, but it is something to keep in mind. But I made this video originally because I was looking like it might have been setting up here, but it's starting to look kind of bearish. But definitely watch some of these levels that I've been talking about here, and we might have to just wait until we get some kind of closure above 35.15, or maybe a nice